Hi children. So today we are starting the first chapter of physics of this academic year, class 6. Okay. So we are starting our first chapter, which is that chapter 3, force. So you have already learned about force in the smaller classes, isn't it? In the smaller classes like 5th standard, you have learned about force. And what have you learned? You have learned that force is a push and pull. So a push and pull is called force. This you have already learned. So in this lesson, in 6th standard, we will study about force in detail. Okay. The term force is not used only to denote a push or pull. It is also used to denote a stretch or squeeze. Okay, you know what will happen as a result of a push or pull? What will happen? The object moves, isn't it? What will happen if you stretch or squeeze a body? A stretch or squeeze change the shape or size of a body. So we can use the term force to denote a push, pull, stretch or squeeze. Okay, is that clear? So how can you define force? A force can be defined as a push or pull or a stretch or a squeeze. Now tell me, what do you see in this picture? In this picture you can see a man pushing the baby cart, isn't it? A man is pushing the baby cart. You can see that. How is force applied there? Force is applied in the form of a push, isn't it? Now what do you see here? You can see a man pushing a car. In this picture also you can see force is applied in the form of a push. In both these pictures you can see that force is applied in the form of a push. Now look at this picture. What can you see? You can see the gardener pulling the roller, isn't it? What happens as a result of the pull by the gardener? The roller moves. So in this picture you can see that the force applied by the gardener moves the roller. Now here we can see a bull pulling a cart, isn't it? How is the cart moving? What causes the cart to move? The force applied by the bull in the form of a pull moves the cart. So from these pictures you might have understood that force is applied in the form of a push or pull. In short, we can also say that a push or pull is called as force. What is shown in this picture? A rubber band is being stretched, isn't it? You can see here that a rubber band is being stretched. What will happen once you stretch a rubber band? There is a change in the size and shape of that rubber band, isn't it? It elongates. That means the length increases. So the size increases. So as a result of a stretch, the length or the size of the body increases. So when a rubber string is stretched, its length increases. On stretching a spring, it elongates. So sometimes you might have played with springs, isn't it? By pulling it apart, isn't it? So it elongates. The spring elongates when it is pulled. On suspending load on one end of a wire, keeping its other end fixed, the length of the wire increases. This also you might have done, isn't it? So stretching increases the length of the object or the size of the object. Okay. What do you see in this picture? What do you see? A toothpaste tube, isn't it? You can see a toothpaste tube here. How is it looking like? It is a squeezed tube, isn't it? Somebody has applied force on it in the form of a squeeze. What happened as force is applied as a squeeze on the toothpaste tube? The shape of the toothpaste tube changed, isn't it? So what happens as a result of a squeeze? As a result of a squeeze, the shape of the object changes. Okay. So what do you understand? On squeezing a tube of gum or toothpaste, its shape changes. If an inflated balloon is squeezed, what will happen? Its shape changes. On squeezing an inflated football from all sides, what will happen? Its shape changes. So what is happening as a result of a squeeze? A force applied as a stretch or squeeze can cause change in size and shape of an object. Okay, so force applied as stretch or squeeze can cause the change in size and shape of an object. So what all things we learned in today's class? We learned about force, isn't it? How can you define force? A push, pull, stretch or squeeze is called force. Okay. A push or pull can move an object, whereas a stretch or squeeze can change size and shape of an object. So you have to see this presentation twice at least. Okay, at least twice you have to see. Study the points from this much point only is enough. Okay, study from this presentation the points given here. Okay, thank you.